welcome to the TwinLifePodcast, the YouTube version.
The YouTube version.
Yes, absolutely. So we are here by ourselves this week, just the two of us.
No guests, no shenanigans.
Yes. It took us
We started on time today.
We started on time. It took us
our tea's actually going to be hot when we start.
Exactly. Last week we started with cold tea. So I'm very excited.
Very excited.
I have my go-to tea. So one day I'll try a different tea, and then Amber's drinking her chai tea. So I thought about drinking green tea because I was drinking green tea with lemon last night, and gave me so much. I drank like 3 cups of green tea last night, and Derek was like, "What is hot tea?" He was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "It is just so good for some reason." It was just like warm.
Maybe we have a whole box of green tea. I should probably start making green tea.
I have a whole box of, like, hot tea?
Yeah.
I have a whole box. I went through it. We bought one, and I've gone through a whole box. And Derek's like, you never drink this. I drink tea every...
You just put lemon in it? Lemon juice? Or
I just put lemon...
sugar or just...
Yesterday... No, I didn't put any sugar in that, because that was, like, my tea, like, to go to sleep, and, like...
Oh, yeah.
You know, I didn't want to put, like, sugar in it, but earlier I had a cup of...
I have this,
chai, I think, and I put, sugar.
I have a
I hit my mic.
I have a sleepy time tea that I, like... I really should start drinking that instead of taking a melatonin, because I've been taking melatonin at night. With everything that's going on, my mind just is, like... Everywhere, like, it's just a lot. So I take a melatonin so I can just, like... I'm sure, has anybody else been, like, staying up way later than normal and, like, just constantly your mind's running? You're thinking about all the things that you would have been able to do right now that you're not being able to do, and, like, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyways, I guess we can start
So, we are going to go ahead and start recording.
The podcast.
Make sure you guys hit that bell, subscribe, so you can know when all of our new video podcasts are up for you guys to listen to. And so I guess we'll get ready.
Yeah,
all right. Here we go.
Ready.
Hey, Twin.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am doing well. How's everybody listening? How's everything going on your area of the country, world, whatever?
In quarantine.
Still. United we are.
Yes.
In quarantine.
Yes. So I think we actually, to be honest, like, don't really have any did you see or hears, because I've literally just been avoiding anything. I mean, I've been going on social media, but, like, I've sort of been avoiding reading anything. Like,
yeah.
Like, looking at people, like, today is Easter Resurrection Sunday, and so I've been looking and, like, seeing people's, like, posts of, like, what they did and, like, ways that my friends are keeping their kids entertained.
Yeah.
But anything that says CNN News or Fox News, or I've just literally just been, even entertainment television, nothing in the entertainment industry is happening right now. And I mean, there are things, but people are, like,
the news is singularly
not
focusing on that. Like, for example, last night, actually, if you paid attention to any of the weather, there was, like, a huge tornado that blew through North Texas, so Dallas and Arkansas and Louisiana yesterday.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
So there was, like, huge, like, I talked to my mom earlier, or our mom, earlier, and she was saying that normally, like, people think of, like, baseball-sized hail as, like, huge hail. Apparently it was bigger than a baseball, this hail that was coming.
Like a grapefruit size?
Like, yeah, like a grapefruit-sized hail.
Or a softball size.
Like, I doubt it was
baseball.
Grapefruit's like this big.
Yeah.
Softball's like that big, so I don't think it was softball size.
That's a football.
This would be a football.
You guys, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see the size that she's doing. But she's, like, over here, like, this is a softball. Like,
no, excuse me, I didn't do this.
That is a football. A softball is probably this big. A baseball is probably that big.
A baseball's like this big.
So if you can't see, we're doing hand motions of about 3 inches.
Send us a photo of your hand measurements of what a baseball looks like as your guess, because apparently we don't know. But regardless, I feel like
they were big pieces of hail.
They were giant pieces of hail. They were bigger than a baseball-sized piece of hail. And so they did a lot of damage. And honestly, my first thought, which is unfortunate, is I guess I probably should put my phone on silent.
Amber's tweetling.
My concern was, like, okay, so all these people whose homes were destroyed, where are they going to go? Like, they're supposed to be quarantining inside their homes for the coronavirus. Like, what are they going to do in these cities? Where are they going to put all these people so they can still be social distancing, but still safe, still indoors? Like, what are all these people going to do? And that's a huge issue. Like, there's multiple things with this, but homelessness right now, and then domestic violence, children that are being abused in their homes. Like they're trying to figure out, we're requiring these people to trap themselves in their home. In reality, their only escape from their craziness in their life and their unsafe feelings would
be
their
like
work,
a group
their
home
job
situation too.
Group homes or job, women's shelters, things like that. So where are these people going? So that's like a really
say we don't have a did you see, did you hear, but we kind of do have one in a weird way. Like, did you not see and not hear all of the crazy stuff that's going on? And
Blake and I actually made a pact that we were going to, and he's like the big news watcher, and I really refuse to, if you guys watched last week, you heard our mother say she doesn't watch the news. I don't like to watch the news either.
Yeah,
it upsets me.
I don't either. And Derek is the same page with me, so that works for us.
Yeah, I don't like to watch the news. But Blake does like to watch the news. He was in politics for a long time. His mother watches the news. We are just hitting all the mic stuff.
The mic and the table and everything.
Oh my God.
We talk with our hands.
Yeah, so we're just like
banging everything over here.
So he watches the news. So I was like, babe, okay, just to compromise, can we just watch the news currently right now, like one day a week, just on Monday? Because honestly, if you've been watching the news every single day, it feels like nothing is changing, nothing is getting done. Things are moving very slowly, and you really don't, what they've been saying is you really don't get a sense of any kind of change until time has passed. So if you just watch it every single day, you're like, okay, well, I mean, it was the exact same thing yesterday that happened, you know? So I'm hoping that by doing that, I feel a little bit less, I feel a little bit more encouraged. Yeah. But, so we'll see how that happens. So tomorrow when I watch the news, we'll see. But in celebration this week, it's obviously Easter, Resurrection Sunday, so that's a huge celebration. And then my baby Landon turned 2 this week. Yay! So that is very exciting.
Yes. You have been a mother for 2 whole years.
2 whole years, and I cried like a baby. We got up. We got him a train that's like a starter train kit from it's Target's like toy brand.
Yeah.
Which are amazing, by the way. They're great because all the toys are rubber. You can't really break them. Like they're
Target toys legitimately are like indestructible. We can put a link in the description box
for the train that we got.
Yeah,
for the train we got him.
My mom actually, or our mom, we're working on this, guys. We're working on it. Our mom actually bought Phoenix that same train. Around the same age, and he actually kind of broke it, but we ended up passing it over to another 2-year-old that we know, 2.5-year-old that we know, and he seems to be really enjoying it. And Landon has played with it.
He's been playing it. He's been carrying it around all day, every day. And we're also
he's like choo choo.
Yeah, it's called a choo choo. I didn't know this was the thing honestly until I had a kid, but like my son really identifies things by their sounds right now because he doesn't know what they're called, so he makes the sound like. We got him today for Easter. We got him a baby shark, a yellow baby shark, and it's like a puppet version. So you stick your hand in it, and when you like move your hand, it sings. But like if you move it faster, it sings faster. If you move your hand slower, it sings slower.
Oh, that's genius!
Yeah, so he freaking loves this. But he calls all baby shark stuff. He's starting to call them shark now, but he called it a doot doot. Any fish.
Because the song's like baby shark
doot 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 doot. So anything that is a doot doot. So shark, a dolphin, a fish, anything that's a doot doot.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then
what's the excavator called?
He calls it a duppy, but I don't know what that means.
I have no idea where the duppy came from.
There was a whole like 30 minutes where Landon was going like duppy. He's like yelling at me, duppy, can't duppy, and I'm like, what?
Do you know how many times Christian and Derek used to call me, or even Mom?
I used to call you.
You have done it.
All the time. Like, literally, talk to your son.
They would literally call me and be like, here. And then would put the phone up to Phoenix's mouth when he was like 2 and be like, what are you asking for, Phoenix? And he would say it. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, it's this. And they're like, what? And I'm like, it's not like you can't really make a list. Like, you can't write a list down of like, these are all like.
The child translated words.
Yeah, because sometimes he's not actually, he's like trying to say it. And I just happen to know what it is. But even now, like. Okay, so the other day, you tell me what movie you think this is. And I thought I knew until he argued with me for like 20 minutes. It was literally like, he was like, I want to watch the movie with the monkey and they like fly around. And he said something about something blue. And I was like, oh, Aladdin. Because Genie is blue, there's a monkey, and they go, and I was like.
I don't know, for some reason Wizard of Oz is the first thing that came to mind.
He's never seen Wizard of Oz.
Right, so.
So I was like, okay. So I was like, oh, you want to watch Aladdin? So I'm on Disney Plus and I'm like going through and I was like, point to me. And he was like, no, that's not it. And I was like, Phoenix, like Aladdin, like this is what you want to watch. There's a monkey, but like twin.
Sorry.
But based on.
The tea's really good. Here, I'm just going to shift it slightly this way.
But based on
There we go.
There we go. Okay. So based on the like the picture that it had on Disney Plus, like it apparently didn't look like the particular scene in his head.
Okay.
So like we were watching it, and then like I don't know, we were going back and forth, and I was getting pissed, and I called Derek. I was like, "What is your son talking about?" And he was like, "It's like Phoenix, tell him." And Derek's like, "What?" And he was like, "The dad and the this," and he was explaining, and he was like, "I don't know." I was like, "Okay, well you were no help basically." But I was like, "Okay, well thanks." I did say like, "Well thanks for helping. Like we'll just figure it out, whatever." And I was like getting super pissed, and I was like, "Phoenix, what are you talking about?" And he was like, "That one." He points to freaking Will Smith's face with the blue stuff, and he's like, and I was like,
"Oh, he wanted to watch the real one."
Yeah, he wanted to watch the real. But I knew that's what I said at the beginning was Aladdin, and he was like, "No," but he didn't know the name of the movie.
But which one did you play? Did you play the real one, or did you play the animated one?
I am telling you, I went to the real Aladdin, and I clicked on it on Disney Plus, and he was like, "That's not it." And then after 10 minutes of arguing, him yelling at me because apparently I'm stupid because I have no idea what he's talking about. I'm just like literally arguing with my 4-year-old, and all this whole time I was right. Anyways, I'm done. Rant over.
Landon likes to. So I've gotten to the point where he'll see the picture of something and want it or whatever. So on his tablet, I've started to try to get him in the habit of clicking on what it is he wants to watch instead of him trying to tell me, because he calls some of the same things like he still calls Daniel Tiger Blippi. So sometimes he wants to watch Blippi and sometimes he wants to watch Daniel Tiger. But he's gotten into this point where he gets really excited about whatever it is. So as soon as he sees it, if I point to it, he's like, that. I'm like, okay, so that. Okay, cool. So I just make him pick instead of clicking through every single one, because if he picks it, then he's like, oh, I guess I'm watching that. Like if I pick it, he's like, no. I'm like, okay. We've also, so his birthday was this week, so we did, Blake and I made 24 cupcakes. I'm sure if you saw them.
Still have cupcakes?
We still have a few cupcakes, yeah.
Okay.
I posted like a video of Blake and I making the cupcakes on our Instagram story, or my Instagram story, and on the TwinLifePodcast Instagram story. And the final results of the cupcakes. I didn't make them from scratch. I didn't make them from a bag. I made them from scratch. Blake made the frosting from scratch. The only thing that wasn't from scratch was the sprinkles. So
that she borrowed from me.
Well, yeah, okay, so what's weird is I borrowed sprinkles from Ashley, and then Blake goes, babe, we still have sprinkles. Because we bought sprinkles to make cookies for Christmas, but they didn't have Christmas sprinkles when we bought them for Christmas. So we ended up not using them.
Derek said the same. He was like, babe, I couldn't find Christmas sprinkles. And I was like,
yeah.
Sure enough, I went to the store, a whole thing of Christmas sprinkles.
Okay, there weren't any Christmas sprinkles at Walmart. So we ended up getting sprinkles, but just like the mixed colors. So they were like the birthday cake sprinkles. So half the cupcakes had Christmas sprinkles, and the other half had the birthday cake sprinkles.
I didn't even notice the sprinkles, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
they were really good.
Yeah, we kind of made the mistake of making the cupcakes the day before Landon's birthday, like in the afternoon, because time-wise, it made more sense to do that then. So when Landon got up from his nap, the whole rest of the night, he wanted freaking cupcakes, which one he barely ate. Like he had one cupcake. He only wanted to lick the frosting off. And so I put literally, like, you can judge me if you want, but I put sprinkles on he had like Alfredo pasta. I put sprinkles on his Alfredo pasta.
Ooh, you told me that. That sounds yucky.
Probably didn't taste like anything. Sprinkles don't taste like anything, really. I did like one shake, and he was like, so excited about it. And he ate his pasta.
I think
Blake thought it was ridiculous, and I'm like, it worked.
Derek gives in more with stuff like that.
I didn't give in. I didn't give him a cupcake.
No, I'm saying.
He didn't get his cupcake.
I'm talking about, like, if Phoenix wanted sprinkles and I said no, it would just be no. There would be no, or if he wanted a cupcake, it would be no, can you put sprinkles on my, no.
He didn't say that.
Obviously he didn't, but that's what
I'm just saying, it worked. I was happy.
Okay, so we're not going to judge.
We're not judging the sprinkles on the Alfredo pasta.
We're just going to agree that we would have done something different, which is a great segue into our topic for this week.
Yes.
Which is personality quizzes.
Yes.
So we did a personality quiz. We actually stole this from the Gabe and Babe podcast. Well, I'm sure they stole it from somebody, but I was listening to the Gabe, it's actually called the Let's Make Out podcast, by Chad and Gabrielle, and they have a YouTube channel. And they actually did a whole episode about this personality test called 16 Personalities. So I was like, okay, that would be totally interesting because we're identical twins and our whole mantra is sometimes we think that's all we have in common. So let's see what we have in common.
Yeah, we also, so just like at the beginning, Ashley and I took the quizzes separately. We didn't take them together. We also haven't shared our results with each other, so we don't know what, like, which one, what, like, you know, what we got and whatever. So we are going to read them and share them with you guys for the first time, like we're sharing them together. Yes. So, all right. Okay, so the 16 personality quiz, if I can just kind of explain it, it's got 4 different categories of personality, and then in each one of those categories is 4 subcategories defining what your specific personality is.
Okay. And the different types are...
Oh, there you go, Twin. Awesome.
Analyst, architect, logician, Logician. I'm assuming that's logician. Commander, debater, diplomats.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Doing it wrong. So analyst has 4 categories.
There's 4 categories. Okay, I just realized that. Okay, so the overarching categories are analyst, diplomats, sentinels, and explorers. And under each one of those are subcategories, which there's 6. I'm assuming there are 16 subcategories. Yes. Got it. Okay.
So I actually went through and learned this. Ashley's apparently figuring this out now.
I'm happy learning as we go. I took the quiz. I know which category I fall under, but I think it's more interesting for us to like kind of explore kind of what.
Yeah, I mean, we're exploring the website.
Because I wanted to have a genuine reaction. I didn't want to read it all and then be like, this is what it was, and just, you know, tell it. Okay, so which are you?
Okay, hold on. Let me open it. Hold on.
She's looking up hers. Okay, so I will say which mine is. So my type is assertive consul. We'll talk about what that is. Which is, the role is sentinel. So that's the overarching category. And then my strategy, I think, for life is people mastery. Which I'm not even sure what that means, but we'll talk about. So what is yours?
Okay, mine is, it's a turbulent protagonist, which is in the, which category is that? It's the green one. Which one's the green one, Twin?
I don't know, but I'm in the blue. I'm in the blue category.
You're in the blue. Okay, so we're in totally different categories so far. So we're definitely not the same personality.
Okay, I'll go under here. I'll go with the personality types real quick. So you're, which one did you say you are?
I'm a turbulent protagonist.
Turbulent protagonist. Okay.
So we can kind of
tag team this. Okay, so green, right?
So I'm one of the diplomats. Okay, so in the diplomats category is the protagonist, which is,
here you go,
charismatic and inspiring leaders able to mesmerize their listeners.
Interesting.
And you are, Twin?
I am under the blue,
which is
sentinels, and I am a consul, which is extraordinarily caring, social, and popular people, always eager to help.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Sweet.
Cool.
Okay, so, all right, and then in the personality traits, it gives you 5 categories: mind, energy, nature, tactics, and identity. And it tells you, like, on each, there's 2 spectrums of each one. So in mind, I'm 71% extroverted. What are you?
This says...
Ashley's like 50-50.
I'm 54% extroverted and 46% introverted, which makes perfect sense because if I need to be extroverted, I can be. But I lean just a little bit more towards being like... I lean a little bit more towards extroverted. Obviously, we do a podcast. But I definitely have my super introverted moments where, like, I just need quiet. So I think that's pretty... It's 54% extroverted.
Put your little arrow down so it tells you.
54% extroverted and 46% introverted. And the mind category says this trait determines how we interact with our environment. So basically, people are familiar with introverted, extroverted. So we're both extroverted.
We're both extroverted. I'm just a little bit more, quite a bit more extroverted. I'm 71% extroverted and 29% introverted.
Which is what we say to people. It's like, we're both extroverted, but you are more extroverted.
Yeah. And it says extroverted individuals prefer group activities and get energized by social interaction. They tend to be more enthusiastic and more easily excited than introverts. So
that was hard for me to, like, some of those questions were hard for me to answer because it's like, it depends on my mood. Like,
it depends on the situation.
Like, for some people, if they're, like, sad or whatever, being their friend calling, be like, hey girl, let's go out, let's this. Like, that gives them all the life. Like, yes, let's go out, let's have some drinks, let's party, let's this. I'm more like, I'm going to get a bottle of wine, I'm going to have like a couple of glasses of wine, watch a good movie, snuggle up in a blanket, drink a hot cup of tea, and that will rejuvenate me. Going out will not rejuvenate me. That will drain me. I'll have to rejuvenate from my rejuvenation if I go outside.
I will say that I'm somewhere like I don't like to like go out and do stuff, but I like to gather with people.
Yeah.
And so for that like gives me like excitement and energy. Like I get really excited to get together with people and stuff. So that's
and to me,
yes, but I also like
work.
to like chill and whatever. But I love to like I planned every one of Ashley and I's birthday parties. Like I love planning gatherings for people to get together. And even so much fun.
Even our birthdays, I'm just like, if I was in like the wrong kind of mood, I would just be like, I'm not here for this. Like,
yeah,
I would rather stay home.
Exactly.
Okay, so the next category is energy, and it says this trait shows where we direct our mental energy. So I am 30% intuitive and 70% observant.
Holy moly.
What are you?
I am 53% intuitive and 47% observant.
Oh, so you're more 50-50 on that. Okay, so an observant person it says, I am mostly observant, and observant individuals are highly practical, pragmatic, and down to earth. They tend to have strong habits and focus on what is happening or has already happened.
Okay. And then an intuitive person is intuitive individuals are very imaginative, open-minded, and curious. They prefer novelty over stability and focus on hidden meanings and future possibilities. Yeah. For sure.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I literally...
Like, and I feel like you and I have disagreements about that particular...
You know what Blake said after I was reading this to him? He was like, you guys need to make... Like, Blake and Derek need to do them, and we need to compare yours to Blake's and mine to Derek. And see, like, what things we have similar.
Yeah.
Because when I read
Derek
that,
I was totally just like... He is totally the long game. I see the big picture, but my thought process is what little things do we need to do to get to the big picture. Derek is more like even we were talking about moving yesterday,
yeah.
And me trying to explain to you like we need to do X, Y, and Z. And Derek was literally just like, I don't care what we need to do to get there. Just tell me how much it's gonna cost. And I'm like,
you know
but
what's
I'm trying to explain.
Blake and Derek they went outside to walk the dog and they started talking about that, and Blake was telling him that I was wanting to write down like the numbers for everything, and she starts getting annoyed with me because I'm like, Twin, let's just write down the numbers, look at them visually, and we can figure out which one's the best. She's like, well, it's not. I've already got it in my head, and I'm just like, this is like having a conversation with Blake. Like I'm like, babe, we need to write this down so we know what we're doing. We need to know.
But I already know.
Well, I already know it's in my head. It's not in my head. So, and Derek's response was, well, that would be nice if she would write it out.
but we're the same way with our bills. The only reason that I have our bills written out is because Derek insisted that we have them written out. I'm like, I know what they are. I know when they're due. I don't need to write it down. Like, I can tell, like, do I have the exact dates in my head? No. But I do know around the same, like, I know this week between this day, like today's the 12th. I know this week that so many bills are going to come out between now and the next 7 days. Right? So in my head, okay, cool. I know that a certain amount is money, so we just need to make sure that we're not going crazy this week because we have X, Y, and Z bills due.
It gives me like anxiety relief to check off that these bills are paid. So when I look at them, I'm like, awesome.
That's how he is
These
too.
are done. Great.
He wants to write a list
as they're done.
And crossing them off.
Yes, crossing them off or clicking the little bubble on notes just gives me, it just instantly, I'm just like, okay, that's done. Awesome. Great.
So it said earlier, what was the other thing it said earlier about,
by the way, each one of these has like a 7-paragraph description in depth.
We're not going that far.
If you go to 16personalities.com and do your own, you can spend 3 hours reading all the detailed stuff. We're doing like the Cliff Notes version. Like
it says we can share it on Facebook. Share our personalities on Facebook. So maybe we'll share the link and then you guys can go
read them and like dig into our personalities if you'd like.
But I guess as we go through it, like what I was reading about is like we tend to be more like, my particular personality tends to be a little bit more practical too, and in certain ways. Yeah. So like for me, I can write a list, and for certain things, like for moving, I have a list of like the things that need to be paid, the this and this and this that has to get done, and I'm fine doing that. And I have a full calendar for like my week. But that's like an overarching thing. What I don't have is like, I don't have the at 6:30 make a phone call, at 7:00 do this, at 9:00 do this. I like have like wake up with an overarching schedule for the day, and I'm like, I'm gonna get these done today at some point. And if I don't, the world's not gonna come crashing down.
For me, it's more like, okay, so it said for this personality trait, people want to have more when they feel better when things are like planned out. I like to have the logistics of something planned out, and if I do not have anything scheduled or planned for that day, do not expect me to get up and start powering, like, getting up at 7. If I don't have anything to do, I don't have anything scheduled for the day,
Taking the day off.
I'll get up when I get up, I'll figure out something to do, and then if I decide, okay, well, maybe I'll go get this done today, I'll go take a shower and go get this done, and, like, run to the store or whatever, and, like, think of something throughout the day. Honestly, when I really hit the ground running is when I have a solid schedule of like, okay, so all this needs to get done. This is what needs to get done. Those are the kind of conversations I have with Blake about things. Like, I like to have the detailed understanding, and I will continue to ask questions until you explain to me the detailed understanding, and I will think of 7 different ways that this could go wrong, and I want to know that I can check off all the possibilities, like clear all the things that could make this possibly veer off to the wrong direction. So I ask a lot of questions, which is, I'm sure, sometimes it frustrates Blake. He's getting to understand why does I ask so many questions, because I feel like if I don't ask these questions, sometimes he may not think of them. But
I think you and I have that similar thing in common, and that might be like a female thing and to male thing, because I definitely find myself like wanting to know the minute details, and that's why like Derek and I were going back and forth about I want to know the details, but the way that like the parts of the details that I want to know are different. Like, so I don't need to sit down and organize it all out on, like, Derek, we're sitting in my office right now, or Derek and I's office, and he has these whiteboards of his work, and he has, for the whole entire month, it's actually, he hasn't put it up yet, normally for the whole entire month, he has the mark of the goal that he wants to read. There's 4 different categories that they have goals in. He has the goal he has for the whole entire quarter, and he has right next to it where he's at in the goal for the quarter. And then on the calendar, he has like every single day written down of like, he has something going on this day, something going on this day. Like, he's very organized in that. If I was to ask Derek, hey babe, will you make a schedule for Phoenix that you want, like, for the daily schedule for Phoenix or for the week? No. Matter of fact, I have a Google Calendar.
Yeah.
It's shared with everyone. But Derek likes physically writing things down. To him, he's like, it's not the same. It's a Google Calendar. Like, the alert will come up on his phone, and he'll ignore it.
Yeah, Blake does that too. He wants me to schedule things out, but I feel like he needs it visually to be scheduled out so that he'll even pay attention to it being visually placed, which also I think is like maybe a male and female thing. like, at the same time, yes, Derek was like, yeah, that'd be a nice idea to have her write it out, but he also was like, just give me the number. And that's how Blake is with bills. He literally, like, does not care. Like, I'll be like, babe, okay, so we have this amount in the account. These are the bills that are due. These are the ones I'm going to go ahead and pay. This is the balance of the account. He literally only wants to know what the balance is that he has available to spend. And that's it. As long as lights don't get cut off, cars don't get repossessed. He doesn't care, like, what the details of finance. Because I'm like, okay, so this is exactly how much it is. Each bill is this much. This is what we're going to pay this day. These are when they're due. He's like, I don't need all that. Just, how much is it? I'm like, okay, well, it's this much. But for me, it doesn't, like, explaining it to him is like, you 100% understand that this is why I'm paying this. This is because
later on you don't come to me and ask me, why do we only have X, Y, and Z amount? Remember when I told you that these 3 bills are going to come out? Well, I thought they already came out. No, that's why I told you.
That's why I checked the account.
This is how much.
I've actually gotten Blake in the habit of daily checking our bank account now. Thank the Lord, he checks it daily now, because I would check it daily and I'd be like, hey, did you have? I check
not only daily, I check it like couple times a day sometimes. Especially every time I pay a bill, I go to the Chase app to see, did it automatically come out, or am I waiting a day, 1 to 3 days?
The same with me. Electric bills, like SDG&E has a habit of 2 or 3 days going by. Heaven forbid you pay it on a Friday. It's not coming out till Tuesday, and you're like, I swear I paid this.
Yeah.
So I literally sit out and like do the math and be like, okay, so this is the amount in the account. This is how much is coming out for the bill. It's not come out yet. And I'll be like, babe, this is how much is in the account. You only have this much to spend because we have this. And nothing irritates me more than when an auto draft that I wasn't aware of comes out of the account, because it throws off all the organization that I planned ahead of time. And, like, knowing that this was in the account and now we have to, shift, or I can't pay, whatever,
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, let's move on to the next. There's like 5. Okay, so we did energy, right?
Yes.
Okay,
the next
so
one is nature.
Did I read intuitive?
No, you can go ahead and read nature.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
No, I mean, you read observant. I didn't read intuitive.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Read it, yeah.
Intuitive individuals are very imaginative, open-minded, and curious. They prefer novelty. Oh, I did read that. Novelty over stability and focus on hidden meanings for future.
Yes, that's how we got off on the
tangent. That's how we got on the tangent.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so nature is, this trait determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I am 86% feeling.
Okay.
And mine says, feeling individuals are sensitive, emotionally expressive. They are more empathetic and less competitive.
No, empathic.
What did I say?
You said empathetic.
Oh, well, empathic and less competitive than thinking types, and focus on social harmony and cooperation. I
am 78% feeling.
There we go, twin.
There's
got that. I bet you if our mother took this quiz, she would be right there.
In the middle.
And yeah.
I'm 22% thinking.
Yeah, I'm 14% thinking. So we're very similar in that one.
Okay, so the next one is tactics, and this trait reflects our approach to work planning and decision making. And I'm 51% judging and 49% prospecting.
Hey, another one we're similar.
What are you?
57% judging, 43% prospecting.
Okay, so judging individuals are decisive, thorough, and highly organized. They value clarity, predictability, and closure, preferring structure and planning to spontaneity. That's literally what we're just saying.
Yeah, we were just
We have that in common.
Yeah.
That we like to plan things. We just do it we have our different ways.
Yeah,
so
we have a different approach. Yes, I need to know that we're like, okay, so I haven't talked about this in the podcast, but Blake and I are moving. I haven't decided I want to tell anybody exactly where we're moving yet, but we are moving.
Yeah.
So Ashley and Derek are moving also. Blake and I are moving out of the state. And we were like, Blake's like, here, read this article, because there's an entire article on how to move during COVID. The number one thing that they said on there is to drive.
Oh, drive.
Drive, don't fly. Because Blake and I have been going back and forth. And he was like, it's just way cheaper. I was like, do you realize we would spend like 15 hours between getting to the airport, once they open the airports up again, it's going to be absolute chaos in the airport. And I don't want to sit in a chaotic airport with a 2-year-old. I would rather sit in the car and drive 24 hours than it's actually 30, it's a day and 6, so 30 hours from here to where
realistically with Landon, it would take you 3 days.
Yeah,
you
so
probably
we would
couldn't
just
drive
stop.
more than 12 hours with him in the
Our
car.
plan is to stop every 10 hours.
Yeah.
We would drive 10 hours through the day, like start at the crack of dawn. Drive 10 hours and then,
like 8 to 6.
No, we'd probably drive like 3 or 4 in the morning to 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay, so you would drive
so that I can put Landon down to sleep at night. That was like my biggest concern, is how do we keep our son on a sleeping schedule that will allow for us to sleep at night and him to not sleep the entire drive during the day.
But because
if we drive at night,
he's gonna sleep.
Yeah, if we drive at night, he'll sleep the whole drive, which means that when we need to sleep, he will be wide awake.
No, I'm saying drive 8 to 6, and then you can still put him down for a normal bedtime.
I mean, yeah.
Because Landon doesn't really sleep in the car, unless he's really tired.
Yeah, I mean, we're planning
on sometimes I think the boy's sleeping, and he's wide
awake,
just quiet.
Quiet watching his tablet, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's during the day. Like we if it was like a 6 or 8 hour drive, and especially if we were driving, like when we did a drive from Austin to Arkansas to go see Blake's mom, and it's like a 6 hour drive, and maybe 8 hour drive. So we just did it at night because Landon slept overnight, but then we were going to see his mom, so we were just like,
you watch it, and we're gonna go to sleep.
We're gonna go to sleep. Like Blake and I kind of rotated sleeping, but we were like, we'll just sleep when we get there. But anyways, that's kind of like our plan, is we're gonna drive 10 hours at a time. But I wanted to know, like, okay, so these are all the steps, like, so we need to make sure we know, like, what cities we're going to stop in, how many miles are we going to get a gallon, how many, like, what states can you not stop in, really? Like, when you're driving through the rural areas, there's 2 routes also. We could take the route that takes us, like, through where our parents live, and, like, we would stop in Albuquerque and whatever. Like, there's, like, this route and there's one that will take us through Tennessee, which is Blake's hometown. So, like, this whole route. And we're like, oh, okay, awesome. We probably will do that one because it gives us specific spots to, like, it literally takes us through where Pop and Papa Mitch live. Mm-hmm. Like, straight through there. I'm like, great, perfect. It's literally 10 hours between all the primary spots we would stop.
Yeah.
And so we were just like, this is great. Like, we'll just do this drive. But I wanted to talk that out and, like, be like, okay, so I'm going to know. So, and, of course, for me, I'm going to plan, like, I want to plan all the details out. And I need to, like, and Blake's more like,
let's swing it.
we'll not wing it, but he's like, okay, well, we already know the plan. Like, we know where we're going to stop. And I'm like, okay, but I want to know exactly the number. He doesn't care to know exactly the number of miles to gallon we need. Like, I drove from Austin to Atlanta, which is 15 hours. And when I did that drive by myself, I was like, okay, I have exactly these, give or take 10 or 15 miles to the gallon. I know it's this many miles between here and here. I know there's not a gas station between here and here.
3 times.
Yeah, I just don't, like, if you're under half a tank, go fill up your tank, like, so you don't run out of gas. Like, these are all things that I plan out. But I think just for Blake, it's like, okay, cool, we know we're going to drive, we know where we're going to stop, like, we'll just make sure we stop and get gas, and, like, you know, we know whatever.
I think I would be a little bit more lax on that particular part, just because I would be like,
but now it's like we can stop anywhere we want now.
But it's also different when you're driving cross country with a 2-year-old, because I've never driven with a 2-year-old. I've driven with a 6-month-old, and Phoenix was 1.5 or something when we went to grandmother's, just barely over 1, because she passed away in April. So Phoenix was just barely over 2, right? So, or over 1. So, like, it's different when you have a talking, running around, super energetic 2-year-old versus a 1.5-year-old that's still basically a baby, right? Yeah. So, like, the worst
But it's harder that way because with babies you have to stop multiple times an hour. Toddlers, you can kind of hope that they'll kind of occupy themselves. Hopefully, like, I'm hoping Landon will occupy himself in the car. My concern is him sleeping through the entire drive. That is, like, a concern of mine because
I wouldn't want to drive with Phoenix the age he is right now.
Why?
Because being a traveling 4-year-old that's traveling, I feel like he gets bored every 15 minutes. And we're supposed to be driving somewhere 15 hours somewhere? Like, no. If he's not sleeping, he's going to be annoying. Like, legitimately. Like, he's just going to be like, I need a snack. I need apple juice. I need to go to the potty. I need to do this. No. We'll drive a distance somewhere when he's, like, 7 or 8.
Well, right now, he's still in that kind of, like, that 4-year-old stage of, like, he's potty trained. But, like, you're going to have to stop, though, to make sure he goes to the potty. Whereas adults, I'm just like, I'll wait 6 hours before I go to the bathroom. Like, I'll just...
Okay, I won't wait 6 hours, but I'm saying, like, I can wait an hour or 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying, like, I'll... Like, I can go, like, an extended period of time without having to go to the bathroom. I don't have to go to the bathroom every 3 hours.
Yeah, well, if you're not hydrating, yeah, you won't. Okay, so the next category is... that was tactics, right? Okay.
We read judging, right? Okay, so identity is the next one. This is the last one. Okay, so this identity, this trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and our decisions. So which one are you?
I am 63% assertive and 37% turbulent.
Okay, I am 44% assertive and 56% turbulent.
Oh, okay, so we're different in this category.
Yeah, I'm kind of right in the middle. But
I am assertive, mostly assertive. Assertive individuals are self-assured, even-tempered, and resistant to stress. They refuse to worry too much and do not push themselves too hard when it comes to achieving goals. I guess that's true.
I don't know if that's true for you. I feel like whenever you, like, set a goal, you're, like, very, like...
Yeah, but I also don't put pressure on myself. Like, if I don't achieve that goal, I'm just like, okay, a new goal. Like, I'm not, like, example, like, when I was working out with Melissa for 3 months straight, right? If I didn't get to my, like, yes, I really wanted to get there, but if for some reason I was like, this is not happening today because I am sore, I am tired, I am this, we're just taking a day off. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm not like, hold myself to the fire to get something, to accomplish something, you know? And that's what I was saying about, like, making an overarching goal for the day, but not necessarily, like, if I don't get it done, I'm not having a nervous breakdown at the end of the day. But I think that's something that I've, like, learned is, like, I used to be more like that, where it's, like, I wanted to get all of this stuff done, and now I haven't gotten it done.
Yeah.
I feel like, to a certain extent, like, I'm not going to be just... And I am resistant to stress to an extent. Like, if I'm being honest, like, there are certain things, some things don't stress me out at all. Some things, like, really stress me out.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, finances is one of those things I struggle with that's, like, super stressful for me. And even if I'm, like, resisting being stressed so hard, it's still, like, Derek's like, you're stressed out. I'm like, I'm not stressed. And he's like, just tell your face, tell your posture, tell your mind, like, whatever, you know? But other things don't stress me out. Like, if we're going to we have to fill out paperwork for Phoenix's school. Okay? Like, yeah. I'm not trying to, like, get it done because I've noticed, like, if I try to do that, if I'm like, we need to get this done today. No, we need to get it done in the next, like, before he starts school. And the reality is, if we don't, I'm just going to say, we're going to pay you, so you're just going to have to wait for me to turn in this one piece of paper. Like, not that big of a deal. Or, like, we've sent Phoenix to school before, and Derek's forgotten his blanket for nap time. And I'm like, just call the school, ask them if they have a spare blanket. I'm sure they have a spare one. We'll send it with him tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there's certain things that I'm just like, I refuse to be stressed about. And other things I'm like, no, this is important. You know? Yeah. Or, like, the laundry sitting in the washer and getting mildew. I'll just rewash it on hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really get stressed out about that, you know? So, but dishes in the sink for 3 or 4 days, either I'm going to be stressed about it or I'm going to do it, you know? So it's like, I don't know. But what does yours say?
Mine's turbulent. Turbulent individuals are self-conscious and sensitive to stress. They are likely to experience a wide range of emotions and to be success-driven and perfectionist and eager to improve. I read this and I read it a couple times and I was just like, I feel like
but you fall in the middle.
Yeah, I fall in the middle. So I feel like for me, the mood part for sure, because things will like, if something is not the way it should be, it will significantly affect my mood and I won't even know it. I'll just be, like, in one of those weird places that day, and I just, like yesterday, like, I was in, like, a real snappy, for some reason, like, and Blake was like, why are you snapping at me? I was like, I'm not snapping at you. And and I was like, I'm really trying not to snap at you. I'm not upset at you. I'm just, like, for some reason today, the world is, and that just happens to me. Sometimes the world's just real heavy today, and it affects my mood, and the things that I like to do, like, accomplishing things and getting things done throughout the day, helps me relieve my stress, and it makes me feel like I've accomplished something. When I'm sitting in the house, not doing anything, it's been 5 weeks, y'all. 5 weeks. It's been 5 weeks. We are coming on 6 weeks of quarantine. It upsets me when I can't get things done, and especially if I can't get them done in the way I want them to, which also happens. If I cannot get something done in the exact way I want to do it, it's not getting done. Like, for example, I have been talking for a year about consistently going to yoga classes, right? I personally do not like to do yoga at home. I know you can do yoga at home.
Yeah, I don't like to work out at home either.
I don't like, and I for sure don't like to do it when I have a 2-year-old because it's
not relaxing.
It's not relaxing. Even if he's asleep, it's not relaxing. It's not relaxing because
God forbid he wake up.
God forbid he wake up in the middle of me trying to get my workout done. Then I have to stop. And in yoga, it's a part, like, I like to do like yoga flows. So it's a lot about centering your mind, focusing, and going through your entire, like, your entire hour where your mind is in one place and it's not distracted by everything else. People who do yoga with their children, God bless you, but you're missing one of the fundamental things of yoga is centering you, and it's supposed to be for you. So I can't do that with Landon running around me, you know? Yeah. And so it takes away from my enjoyment of doing it.
Right.
So I like to go to class. Well, obviously right now I can't go to class. And 2, it's expensive. The yoga studio I wanted to go to, Namaste Fitness, it's fantastic. If you live in San Diego, as soon as we get out of this situation, they are awesome. It's probably the best yoga studio I've ever been to, ever. Mm-hmm. But they have childcare, and they are, like, in a super convenient location here in Otay. They're family owned. It's just, they're awesome.
Yeah. They have a really good Instagram too.
Yeah, the super awesome Instagram page that they really keep up with. But anyway, so I love that. I love their studio. Their studio is like $1,000 a year or something to go unlimited. It's expensive. You're like, that doesn't sound expensive. It is expensive.
That's roughly $80 to $90 a month. Yeah. That's pricey. Yeah.
It's expensive.
Okay, take that back. If it's the only fitness membership you have, that's not that expensive, because we do the Y. Derek and I do the Y, and it's $94 a month or something.
For the both of you, it's for one membership is $99 at Namaste.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So it's definitely a luxury.
Yeah, exactly. It's a luxury, but they also have childcare. So there's tons of moms, like stay-at-home moms in Otay, that take their children and they get to go do their yoga class in peace, and also leave their child with a caregiver. Yeah. And it's like the woman who owns it. They have lots of kids. Anyways, I love the place. My point of saying that is that, for me, if I can't get something done exactly the way I want to do it, I don't want to do it. If I want to fold laundry, at this exact time and do it with my headphones in, and I can't do that, laundry's not getting done. If I don't get to do dishes while watching clips of Family Feud, I'm not doing the dishes. Or if I can't do the dishes without Landon taking things out of the dishwasher every 5 minutes, I'm not doing the dishes. So I have to try to plan things out into places and like times where I can enjoy them. So that's like my biggest thing.
Should just accept that sometimes things have to get done and it's not going to be fun. Like, to be honest, like you literally said if you can't do the dishes in an enjoyable way, you're not going to do them.
Because I don't mind doing the dishes. It's like okay, so I was doing laundry, okay? We had like 3 loads of laundry that needed to be hung and folded, right? Trying to do the laundry. I do the laundry, but right towards the end, Landon starts telling me to take things off the bed and pulling things off hangers and running away with hangers and all this stuff. I'm just like, I just wanted an hour, not even an hour, 30 minutes to just peacefully watch Call the Midwife and fold the laundry. Those are things that you don't really get to do as a mom unless you do them. But then it's like, do I do them while he's taking a nap? Because then I can kind of get to enjoy them. Mm-hmm. But then I have to sacrifice things like eating a meal without having to Landon like steal my food.
But that's because you're in the trenches. Like when you have a 2-year-old, that's what it is. Like it's like you feel like I'm never going to eat a meal by myself. I'm never going to be able to do the laundry by myself. Now like Phoenix is now 4 and he can fold towels. He can like, there's stuff that he can do. Like he's seen me fold stuff enough. Like he can fold it. He knows where his socks and underwear go. So he's like starting to put his socks and underwear away. Like if he sees me do laundry or whatever. Derek helps put laundry away a lot of times. So like I'll fold it all and like he and Phoenix will like put it away. So
Phoenix is in that stage where he can really assist, where Landon wants to assist, but it's really not helpful. Like he wants to help me.
But that's where you have to find ways where he can assist you. That's helpful. Like, if you're doing the dishes, because I had to learn this, because Derek was just like, Phoenix is not in the kitchen when I'm trying to do the dishes. He wants to pull all the knives and all this. I'm like, okay, so what you do is you give him something that if you know you're going to do the dishes, you have to assign him something that is going to be fun to do in the kitchen with you while it's getting done. Something that's going to entertain him so that he's not trying to get in your space. And if he does, like, you can hand him his little plastic plate or whatever and let him put it in the dishwasher. And then he's so excited or whatever. Yeah. You know, or like his little plastic utensils and he can put it in the... You know what I'm saying? You have to, like, he's at the age where, like, if you're trying to keep him out of your activities, his whole idea between 2 and 4 is exploration and like, learning things. So, like, you have to be able to, like, the biggest thing that gave me peace was being able to add him into activities without me getting frustrated because it's a lot more peaceful. Like, you saw me setting up the activities for the 2 of them. Our kids were fighting with each other. I mean, like, they weren't, like, going to blows or anything, but they were, you know, 2 and 4-year-olds, they were going back and forth about a specific, they kept like, every time one of them had something, the other one automatically won. It didn't matter what it was. Like, they could be happily playing, and then the other one grabs the truck and like, I want the truck now, or I want the this, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what? This is your side of the table. This is your side of the table. You pick 2 cars. Landon can't really pick 2 cars. So I was like, Landon, these are your 2 cars, okay? And he was like, okay. And here's and they were playing Play-Doh with these like construction vehicles. So I was like, this is your section. This is your side. This is a line. Nobody cross this line. You stay over here and you stay over here, and this is your space. You can trade. Oh, I'm sorry. I hit Amber's mic now. You can trade toys, but nobody is going to take toys from anybody, right?
Yeah.
That worked out for a solid 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, they were happily playing until they moved on to the next activity. But, like, I think you just got to learn, like, yeah, if you can, I've learned, set your kid up with an activity, then go do what you need to do. If you try to do your thing before you set them up with an activity, you're going to find yourself half doing the thing and the other half pissed at them because they won't leave you alone to do the thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, honestly, like, the main activity that I've been doing with Landon is, honestly, I choose to, like, to get things done when he's eating. So when he's in his high chair.
That's a good one, too.
He sits in his high chair, he has his headphones on, he has his tablet, he eats his food, and I'm like, ooh, that's, like, 20-ish minutes I can get something done. So that was often a lot of times in the morning when I was going to work. We talked about our routines where I would take a shower. Take, like, a 15-minute shower while he was sitting in his high chair eating his breakfast. And that's kind of, like, I try to, that's, like, kind of my go-to of, like, okay, it's lunchtime. Cool, I could sit him in his high chair. But honestly, right now, like, before, when he's taking a nap, I like to have time to myself and, like, just sitting and peacefully doing something. So instead of me, like, trying to get 700 things done in the house while he's taking a nap, because then I feel exhausted. Like, when he's up, I'm like, I haven't eaten, like, I haven't taken a shower, like, none of these things that I want to do for myself. I just spent the entire time he was taking a nap cleaning. I look up and it's been an hour, and I'm like,
yeah.
That's all myself went.
But that's why I learned to do stuff like that when he was awake, so I wasn't taking away from nap time doing that. You know? Okay, so let's get on to the next part of the personality quizzes. So each category has a role, and that's where we find the category that so there's 4 roles. We talked about them at the beginning, and under each role, there are the 4 separate categories. So the role that I fall under is a sentinel. They call it the core theory. So I am a sentinel, and let's see. It tells us, I'm trying to see what it says a sentinel is. There's so much.
Yeah, characteristics and
character and competence. Okay, so it tells you the 4 different categories. I am a consul. Sentinels have the defenders, the executives, the logisticians, and the consuls. Okay, so are cooperative, practical, and grounded. They feel comfortable with who they are, and they take pride in their good character and their competence. These personality types seek order, security, and stability, and they tend to work hard to maintain their way of things. This leads to a deserved reputation as the cornerstone of any group or organization, from family to church to the office and the factory floor. And 78% of sentinels say they are good at executing their ideas. So yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good. So there's a section that talks about like your strengths and your weaknesses, but like, you go ahead and tell me what your category is, and then I think we should just jump right into like the specific one that we are.
Okay. So my role is diplomats. The personality traits they focus on are intuitive and feeling. And it says longing for connection. Diplomat personality types: advocates, mediators, protagonists, and campaigners. Care about helping and connecting with others. They prioritize being kind and generous, and in general, they'd rather cooperate than compete. Empathy seems to come naturally to these personalities. It can almost seem as if their hearts and minds resonate with other people's emotions. That's like 100% me. And it says 97% of diplomats say they often drift into daydreaming and fantasizing about different ideas or scenarios. Like, I legit do that. Like, I sit and think about, like, okay, so at some point, like, we're going to be in this place, and then, like, what are we going to do when we get there? And, you know, I just kind of sit, and it gives me peace to think that far ahead and put myself in, like, where I want to be. Mm-hmm. It gives me peace about where I am right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I guess we're going to dive into what our individual ones are.
Yeah, so mine is consul, which it has initials that are, or an acronym, ESFJ-A or ESFJ-T, and then it like kind of breaks down like the differences or whatever. So basically a consul, it says people who share the consul personality type are, for lack of a better word, quote unquote, popular, which makes sense given that it is also a very common personality type, making up 12% of the population. In high school, consuls are the cheerleaders and the quarterback, setting the tone, taking the spotlight and leading their teams towards victory and fame. Later in life, consuls continue to enjoy supporting their friends and loved ones, organizing social gatherings, and doing their best to make sure everyone is happy. I do not feel like that is me. Does that sound like me? That sounds like you.
No, it doesn't. Ashley was the person that was like the best person. Like, she was the best person on the track team. She was like really good at sports. She always had she was like the best in science class. She was the freaking class president. She was like all these things. That was Ashley. So she's arguing this, but that's 100% true.
Oh, I guess
she was the one who would get invited to stuff, and I wouldn't get invited.
I more imagine myself as the person in the freaking my tracksuit walking around school with my headphones in, ignoring everybody, and people getting mad at me because I didn't say hello.
Did she not just explain exactly what it said? That is exactly what it is. Just because they like you does not mean that you care about them, but that is what it's saying.
Okay, so I'm self-absorbed. Heard. Okay.
I didn't say you were self-absorbed. Slightly self-absorbed, but I'm not saying like...
Okay, discussing scientific theories or debating European politics isn't likely to capture consoles' interest for too long. Consoles are more concerned with fashion and their appearance, their social status, and the standards of other people. That's not true about Ashley at all. No, it's not.
The fashion stuff, that's all me.
Practical matters and gossip are their bread and butter, but consoles do their best to use their powers for good. Okay. Playdates are, okay, so it comes down to, like, it has different categories. There's one that's, or different paragraphs. Respecting the wisdom of leadership. Playdates aren't just for kids.
You can actually, if you click this little thing at the bottom, skip to the, you can read the relationship one, and then you can read the parenthood one.
Okay, good. So we can skip around. Got it. Okay. So for romantic relationships,
or do you want me to read mine?
Yeah, you read yours, and then we'll go.
And then we'll skip to Yeah. All right. So mine is a protagonist. Protagonists are natural-born leaders, full of passion and charisma, forming around 2% of the population. So like people like Barack Obama and Oprah Winfrey are protagonists. Forming around 2% of the population, they are oftentimes our politicians, our coaches, and our teachers, reaching out and inspiring others to achieve and do good in the world. With a natural confidence that begets influence, protagonists take a great deal of pride and joy in guiding others to work together to improve themselves and their community. Firm believers in people. There's like a whole thing about that. The struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. Protagonists are genuine, caring people who talk the talk and walk the walk, and nothing makes them happier than leading the charge, uniting and motivating their team with infectious enthusiasm. It's very much me. Like, I feel like I am that person that's always like even in just like disputes in the family, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, why are we not on the same? Why can't you just get along with that person? I don't understand why you have to be upset. There's literally no reason to be upset. We're on the same side. We want the same things. Why do you have to be like, that's, and I'm like that with everybody, but specifically in like the family, I am like okay, I will talk to you over here, and then see if I can like mediate like the communication so that we're not snapping at each other. Okay, so then I guess go to romantic relationships, and then we'll do parenthood after that one, and then we'll.
Okay. So, romantic relationships. Prizing social validation and a sense of belonging so highly, romantic relationships hold a special level of importance for consoles. No other kind of relationship provides people with console personality types with the same level of support and devotion, and the feelings of security and stability that come with strong romantic relationships are extremely warming. Okay. With such a goal in mind, console personalities take each stage from dating to everything thereafter very seriously. Everything about console relationships is based on satisfying mutual needs, from creating understanding early on to building mutual respect and support for each other's opinions and goals. Knowing that they are loved and appreciated has a huge effect on console's mood and self-esteem. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I feel like that's kind of basic. Like, yeah, I want to be in a good relationship, and I think it's important.
Yeah.
I mean, do other people not think that? Like,
no. Some people are more like, okay. So this one kind of hints at the explorer role group. People who share the protagonist personality type feel most at home when they are in a relationship, and few types are more eager to establish a loving commitment with their chosen partners. Protagonists take dating and relationships seriously, selecting partners with an eye toward the long haul rather than more casual approach that might be expected from some types in the explorer role group. So other people don't.
Oh, okay.
There's really no greater joy for the protagonist than to help along the goals of someone they care about, and the interweaving of lives that a commitment relationship represents is the perfect opportunity to do just that.
Okay. So it says, live long and everyone makes mistakes. Okay, so if they feel like this, so this is for the console, we switch back. If they feel like this support isn't there, such as when their partners deliver criticism, consoles can feel extremely hurt. Yes, literally, that is me, because I will literally, if I feel like Derek's hurt my feelings, I just like break out in tears. Okay, people with the console personality type dislike conflict and criticism, which can make it challenging to address any problems that come up. I literally was just talking to Mom about how I try my hardest to take criticism well, but like, if I feel like you are wrong or you're coming from an ugly place, I'm immediately like, no. Like, I feel like there's a nice way to like tell somebody like, hey, I don't agree. There's other ways that are not nice, or you're wrong. Okay. Nothing is more hurtful or depressing to consoles than to realize that their partners don't respect their dreams and opinions. That is a huge thing. Like, I remember I talked to Derek one time about the fact that if I feel like he doesn't think that something is like something that's important to me, he doesn't think it's important. That just crushes my soul. Like, I'm like, this is really important to me. Like, why do you not care that it's important? Like, that is which he cares that everything I do he cares about, but like that is like a push button for me. If I think something is important and you don't think it's important, it's about to go off. I'm like, you don't care about me. You don't think anything is important that I do. Like,
yeah, I literally, honestly, that's something Ashley and I share. I'm 100% that. Like, I don't think that everything Blake is into, I'm not going to be into. We talked about the news earlier. I cannot stand watching the news.
Or Call of Duty.
I don't mind Call of Duty. I'm just not, like, into Call of Duty to where it's like, but I feel like I have to allot him the same, like, grace of the fact that if I cannot expect him to be into that fervently into everything I want to do because I don't want to play Call of Duty. So I cannot expect that he's going to want to sit and watch Call the Midwife with me.
But I care, but for me, it's like not those little things. Like, to me, I think this is going to sound really dumb. I don't really care how it sounds. Those little things that I like to do represent my personality. And if you don't want to can't just on occasion enjoy those things with me, then I'm just like, you just don't want to spend time with me. Like, you don't want to sit here with me and watch House Hunters because you hate the show so much. You just can't sit and spend time with me. However, if Derek is watching one of his shows, Dave, which is this new show that is so dumb to me about a rapper, about Lil something, I don't know. Can't stand the show. It's very popular apparently. Or Baruto, or one of those shows, like those two shows in particular, I'm not watching it with you. He also has this game called Ark that we played it together at the beginning for hours. We played this game. I will not play this. I'm not going to play this game anymore. I gave you the 3, 4, 5 hours of my life playing at the beginning. And Derek has watched a few episodes of House Hunters with me here and there. He'll watch the renovation version because he thinks that's better. But, like, he's not going to sit and watch hours of House Hunters with me, which is fine, you know? But, like, more extreme things, like, if I was going to go, I can't really think of a scenario, but, like, if I really wanted to go to see...
Look, it's a podcast.
Yeah, the podcast is a good example. He knows the podcast is super important to me, so he's very, 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 very supportive. On the contrary, if I was to say, you're not supporting me, he would get really upset. Like, what do you mean I'm not supporting you? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that, like, he supports me in things that matter, but, like, when it comes to, like, little stuff, I can't take it personally that, like, him saying, babe, I really just don't want to watch House Hunters is not him saying, like, I think it's stupid and you're stupid for watching it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, like, I could take it that way. Like, I know that I could take it that way. Because I'm watching it and he doesn't like it. He's, like, somehow
I legit will be like, stupid. Why are you making fun of my show?
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Stop making fun of my show. I do not appreciate you. It just takes the fun out of watching it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And I honestly had this argument, and we just had it about The Wiz. And I didn't realize that.
Attached.
I'm super attached to The Wiz. Didn't realize this.
Yeah.
I'm very attached to The Wiz. It's
rightfully so. If you haven't seen The Wiz, go see it. That's great.
The Wiz is amazing, and it was like a really big breakthrough for African American artists and performers. Mm-hmm. And The Wiz is basically like, it's a New York City all African American cast version of The Wizard of Oz. Mm-hmm. They keep the same character names, but they add music. Michael Jackson is in it. I can see her. Oh my gosh, that's gonna bug me. Diana Ross. Michael Jackson, Diana Ross are in it. But it's amazing. Like,
it's really good.
It's phenomenal. The music is amazing. So I was sitting watching it, and it's old. It's like, it's really old film.
Yeah, super old.
And it's set up like a Broadway
it's in
musical.
the 80s, I think. So that's
almost
30
like
years
70s, 80s.
And it's a remake of a super, like,
the Broadway
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it's a remake of the Wizard of Oz, but they did a film rendition of The Wiz, which was on Broadway. Mm-hmm. So they put it in film. Regardless, Blake doesn't know all that history because I just didn't realize that was a specific African American history thing that he did not know, right? So I'm just like, I don't understand how you don't know what The Wiz is. And then if we had that argument 2 years ago, but I was like, okay, so you don't know what The Wiz is, but The Wiz is on Showtime. I think it's Showtime. So you can watch The Wiz on Showtime right now if you'd like, or HBO, one of those. And I was like, I really want to watch this. So I'm like sitting there like a child, like, watching Diana Ross skip down the Yellow Brick Road. I'm like, he's on down the road. I'm like singing. I'm like, Blake is like, oh my God, it was last time you seen this movie. I was like, it's probably been a decade since I've seen it. Because it's not like, you don't have to get on a cassette or whatever.
Oh yeah, that song's in my head. Don't you carry nothing that might be alone.
Ease on down.
That's what James.
It's Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. Getting it.
Yeah.
Down the road. Down the Yellow Brick Road. It's amazing, right? So I'm just like all in it. And Blake's like commenting from the kitchen or whatever. And for some reason he sat down and like he kind of looked at me in a way. And I think I for sure took it the wrong way. But I for some reason thought it was antagonizing, that he's like looking at me like with this like grin on his face. I'm like what? I looked at him and I was like, what? Like, why are you making fun of me at my movie? You know, I was like, you know what? I don't want to watch it anymore. And I turned it off. And he's like, and his argument was, I have been supportive of you this entire time. He's like, I've been asking you questions. I've been talking to you about it. I sit down to watch it with you. I was like, but he asked me how much longer of the movie there was. And I was like,
that once, I don't know what it is about saying how much longer. It doesn't matter how nice you say it. It sounds like, when is this going to be over?
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
Tick, tick, tick. Because Derek asked me that sometimes, like, so how much longer on your show, babe? And I'm just like, I don't know.
I'm like,
it just started.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, it's 5 more minutes. Can you not wait 5 minutes? Like, I am just real salty about that.
I'm just like salty about that question. I was just like, because honestly, on the real, it's like a 2-hour freaking movie, right? Long. And we were about an hour into it. So when he asked me, I was just like, so we ended up getting in like this huge fight, and it was super dumb, and I actually apologized, because it rarely happens where I apologize, but I was just like, babe, I'm sorry. This is why I'm so sensitive about it. This is why it's so significant to me. This is why it's so important to me. But there's sometimes things trigger you, and you're like,
what? Where did that come from?
Why is that so crazy important to me? Okay, so you read Relationships, right?
Yes.
Okay, do you want me to do Relationships now, and then we can do Parenthood?
Yeah.
Okay, so since we were talking about me and Blake, I'll read mine. People who share the protagonist personality type feel most at home when they are in a relationship, and few types are more eager to... Did I read that?
I'm pretty sure you read that.
Oh, I read that already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I read that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You said you're going to read it. I was like, okay, I think she read it already. But...
I did. I read it already. My bad.
Okay, so we're going to go to Parenthood. Okay, so it basically says, as parents, consuls have an excellent opportunity to display their warmth, affection, and dedication to in ways that have a real and positive impact. Sensitive yet firm, consul parents are able to establish rules and authority without being entirely overbearing, using their compassion and support to smooth over the occasional miscommunication or differences of opinion. I literally think that this is something I'm learning, that it's quieting conflict with Phoenix is getting a lot easier. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think that sometimes, like, Phoenix, like, gets super upset about something, and I'm learning more and more, like, how to, like, and it just comes, like, instinctual. Like, it happens, and I'm just, like, certain things require a more firm reaction, and some require me just being, like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, so from the start, consuls try to ensure that their children feel safe and happy. People with consul personality types enjoy the support they are able to give their infants who are utterly dependent on their care. Family being as important as it is to consuls, this is an incredibly rewarding start to the relationship. Character is a journey, not a destination. Okay, this is not a super long one to read, but so this one is saying that, like, as their children grow into adolescence and begin to push away from their parents. Okay, so I'm not even there in my life, so we're not going to read that. Okay, as their children grow and begin to explore more, consuls love and care grows with them, but often becomes overprotective. Okay, so I'm going to try not to be overprotective. Consuls may not just keep their children safe physically, but also socially by arranging play dates, camps, and other activities so much that their children aren't free to make the blunders that lead to emotional growth and social independence. This is really hard for me because I was literally just telling Derek the other day, let's send Phoenix to camp. And I was really wanting to go to preschool and really wanted to do, and I feel like those things support social growth and independence.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like camp, of all things, supports that, because, like, that's the first time you're like, we're not there. Like, your parents are not there. So, and yes, there's adults, but, like, they're not, like, as parents, we give our child that individual attention and direction.
That just literally gave me anxiety, the idea of Landon going to camp.
Really?
Yeah, that's, whew.
Oh, I'd love to send Phoenix to camp. Just, like, go off and be, you know? I don't know if that's part of this particular... Okay. Let's see. Consuls may take this transition personally, feeling they are losing their children. So basically it's saying that my personality can tend to be take it hard when like the kids like grow up and then they leave the house and whatever.
Okay. All right, so for me, as natural leaders, protagonists make excellent parents, striving to strike a balance between being encouraging and supportive friends to their children, while also working to instill strong values and a sense of personal responsibility. If there's one strong trend with the protagonist personality type, it's that they are a bedrock of empathetic. I said that right? That's empathetic, right? I said empathic earlier. That's empathetic, right?
Empathetic, yes.
Okay. Empathetic support, not bullheadingly telling people what they ought to do, but helping them to explore their options and encouraging them to follow. This is literally exactly how I am with Landon, and he's too. Like, I do not feel, and Ashley and Blake are similar in this, the way they are with, like, the way Ashley is with Phoenix, and the way I am with Landon. I am very much like, Landon, go forth.
Yeah, and that
go forth and play.
Amber's the type of person that does not have a baby gate.
No.
For what? Like, no. I was literally just thinking we're gonna have stairs in our
I will have a baby gate for stairs.
No, I'm saying, but Phoenix is 4. What the hell do I need a baby gate for? And I have a 4. Like, I'm just concerned that like
he could slip.
Yes, not only could he. We're not gonna put that out of the universe, but I'm concerned with him like waking up in the middle of the night and not knowing where he is.
Yeah.
For the first little bit of time, because but then again, he's 4, so he has like when we were at Derek's parents' house, he was like, he woke up, but it wasn't like, I have no idea where I am. As soon as he saw Derek's mom, he was like, oh, hi.
I know you, hi.
That's a face I know, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's not the same as if I had a 2-year-old and we moved him and we had just taken the thing off the what is it called? We just switched him to a toddler bed and we were like, okay, like, here's all the potty trained. There's stairs right outside your door. Don't go down them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I was thinking about adding a gate for the top of the stairs. I think that's honestly more going to be to keep Sansa from going upstairs. I mean, even though she sleeps in our room, but Derek really does, like, if we can keep her downstairs as much as possible, we're going to try to, because there's carpet up there and there's hardwood floor on the bottom floor, and I don't want to deal with all the hair.
Yeah.
If I can keep her from... Anyways, and for peeing up there somewhere, God forbid, you know what I'm saying?
Well, she has to get used to the new place too.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, with Landon, I am, like, Blake is more like I'll be in the bathroom doing makeup. Landon will come in, he'll say hi to me, he'll poke at me, and then he'll run off and go to his room. I don't need to follow him into his room.
Oh. No.
I don't need to follow him into his room.
I would shut him.
Yeah,
at that age, I would shut him in there.
She would shut him in his room. First of all, Landon can open the door. So it doesn't do anything. Just shut him in his room, because he can open the door and come out.
No, but I can set him up with an activity that entertains him enough so that he can sit in there and not run off.
Yeah, well, he was playing with his train. And then he came in and brought his train to me and whatever, and like, but my point is that I don't.
We're clearly different parents.
I don't need to be up Landon's butt all day. I don't feel the need to. Granted, we live in a 1,000 square foot apartment right now. When we move into our home, then it's going to be, I'm going to have to, he and I will be in I will confine us to a smaller space, like confine us to his playroom or whatever. But I don't want to feel like because Landon is in a room, I have to be trapped in that room. I can't leave the room, or I have to drag Landon with me to go to the bathroom or whatever. I want him to feel a sense of him making decisions to do. I don't want him to feel like he has to be right here all the time. He doesn't have to be in his room all day, every day. He should feel free. Do I close the bathroom door, the guy's bathroom door? Yes. If I'm in the living room, do I close my bedroom door? Yes. Do I make sure that he literally can only go from his room into the living room where I am or whatever? Yes. Do I make sure that I push in chairs and make sure that he can't get on things that he can't? Yes, I do all those things. But I also don't feel like I need to be staring at him in his room while he plays with his train. No. Because that impedes my ability to get things done that I have to get done.
I need to be in earshot or very quickly be able to see you. And that's like even now when Phoenix is 4, like if I'm in the bathroom and he's in his room, Phoenix, in that time that I'm in the bathroom, Phoenix could come out of his room, climb on top of the counter, get something out of the cabinet, and come back down. The only reason or get stuck up there, because he still can't get down. He can get up, but he's like, can you come get me from down, that, you know what I'm saying? Now, we have trained him in safety, so he's not going to go grab a knife, or he's not going to go grab scissors, or whatever. Like, he literally won't even touch a knife. Like, if he's sitting next to a knife, he's going to be like, can you grab the knife? Like, he won't touch it, right? Which is great.
I really would love to learn how to teach Landon how to not touch a knife.
Which is great, but, like, it took me with my eyes hawked on him when he was 2, at least I believe this, of me going, no, do not touch the knife. This is not allowed. This, like, at that age where now I don't have to say that anymore. He's already learned that these are things that I can't touch. Like, example, another example is if I light a candle, we had a candle lit in the house. He knows not to stick his hand in the flame.
Yeah.
Right? Because I would light candles in the house when he was little, but I would keep my eyes on him so that I would know I would never leave the room, like, or whatever, if in that situation. Not to say that if he was a candle light, you would just, like, be like, here, Landon, look, candle. You know what I'm saying? But, like, this is just an example of, like, when he was that age, I was on him about it so much that it fostered, now that he's 4, it's fostered this ability that, like, I can let him have a little bit more freedom. I think, like, until they leave the house, and this is probably the reason that I'm a console and you're a protagonist, is because I feel like kids are on, like, a mental leash until they leave the house. And as they get older, I give you a little bit more slack. And if you mess up, we're pulling the slack back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel. So, like, and then when you're 18 and you leave my house and you go to college, we will take it off. And then hopefully by then you are trained enough that I can just be like, hey, we need to come back a little bit, and you will just come back. You know what I'm saying? Or you will return to me on, you know, for holidays, and you will go off and be free. You know what I'm saying? Like, you turn into a bird or whatever. But that's what I feel. I feel like you train them up in the way they should go, and they will not, like, what is that verse? And they will not stray from it. That's how I feel. Like,
I don't disagree. I just feel like our tactics are different.
I'm definitely more strict.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, like, I just feel like I'm not, and I feel like I get criticized for this a lot, where it's just like, I will, and nothing ever, it's ironic because the least amount of accidents that have happened to Landon have not, only one has happened, and it was a dog. I literally was, and I wasn't even out of the room I was literally in the room, came back out the room, and the dog had, like, I don't know what he did to Landon, but he had a big scratch on his face, and the dog no longer is with the family. But that it more angered me than it did, like, anything, because I was mad at the dog because the dog had never done anything up until that point, I guess, to like make me think that he could concern me. Yeah. So I was mad about that. And I was mad that I was like, well, I should have been paying attention. I was like, but I literally left the room for like 3 seconds. Like, I went around the corner and came back, and Landon was crying. But I think the thing is that I'm doing is I'm trying to make a conscious decision not to be like that, because I can be really like that. I could be, like, constantly, like, staring at Landon all day, every day, but then I wouldn't be able to get anything done. I would feel, like, confined and trapped to a space, and I want to be able to feel like I can get things done throughout the day.
Yeah. But I think what you kind of develop too, and as, like, a mom, is you kind of develop this, like, always hearing and seeing and anticipating. So, like, for me, like if you've seen those videos, they have these videos going around on, like, YouTube and Instagram of, like, these dads who, like, catch their kids, like, from across the room, like, their baby rolls off the couch and they just, like, catch them, or, like, they fall out of their seat and, like, the dad's nowhere to be seen, but the baby is just, like, magically, like, fine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you kind of develop this, like, sixth sense of, like, if suddenly it's too quiet, where are all the children? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Or like you can tell the difference between our kids, like, just having a disagreement versus, like, full blown, like, like, fighting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we can kind of anticipate that, or, like, certain sounds are like, ooh, that sounded like somebody got hurt, or, oh, that's just something fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of anticipate. My ears are always listening for Phoenix. Like, if he's anywhere near me. Even when he went to school. Like, it took a while for me I was like, am I ever going to adjust to him, like, not being here? You know what I'm saying? To not being here. And I don't want to turn that off, because it's not like he's never here. But, like, I have to, like, adjust to, like, I don't have to, like, if I'm in my room for, like, 20, 30 minutes, I don't want to have to get up. I don't have to get up and just, like, Phoenix! Yes. Okay, just checking, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, just very quiet. Yeah, you're very quiet out there, you know? Like, I still do periodically.
Well, if I call Landon, what he does is, like, he just, like, kind of runs into the...
But he just runs like so quiet. Okay, we need to come on.
Okay, I think that's it, though. I think
I really want to talk about our strengths and weaknesses now.
Oh, okay, yes, we'll do that, too.
Okay, so console strengths are strong practical skills, strong sense of duty, very loyal, sensitive and warm, and good at connecting with others. And then consoles, and there's descriptions underneath, but I'm just gonna
the words I think did a good job of.
Consoles' weakness are worried about their social status, which, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't really care, like, that other people think that, like, oh, you can take your kid to do this, or they're in this school, or they're in that. But I do care, like...
to make sure to provide the best.
Yeah.
The best of your ability.
Yeah. To me, I want to provide the best. I want my son to be in a good preschool. I don't care that it's because of what other people might say about it. I care more because that's for me. Or I want my son to be in a Spanish immersion program. That's for me. That's not for the status of it.
Yeah.
I do think there's an importance of when Phoenix leaves the house that he looks put together, that he looks whatever, because that's a reflection of me. I also feel that I should look put together, even if I'm going to be wearing sweats. Like, I'm not going to roll up at Phoenix's school looking crazy, you know? Like, I'm not going to roll up in pajama pants. Will I roll up in yoga pants and, like, a top and, like, a jacket T-shirt, or whatever? Yeah, and no makeup? Absolutely. Am I going to roll up with my hair up in a bonnet? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. So, to an extent, I do care what people think, but I don't think it's like a social status thing. Anyways, okay. Can be inflexible. Consoles place a lot of importance on what is socially acceptable and can be very cautious, even critical of anything unconventional or outside the mainstream.
Ashley has learned to tolerate things over the years.
Okay, I guess that is a learned behavior.
Yeah.
I feel like what I am critical of those things, but do you? Like, I personally don't think that's a great idea or a great way to live your life. And which is when I've ever had to counsel people, like, even at work, like, we would literally, at the end of the night, like, I would literally be sitting at a table and, like, 5 of my staff members would be around just, like, telling me, like, so this is going on in my life, whatever. And we'd have these, like, counseling sessions with my staff, right? And, like, they would be telling me stuff, and I would just be like, you can do whatever you want, but that's not a good, like, I'm just telling you, this is potentially what's going to happen if you do that. Yeah. So I guess it's like, it's a judgment in the sense of, I will still love you and think that you're a good person. That's probably just not a good idea. So, and I don't think that makes me inflexible, just for my personal, I don't know, whatever. Reluctant to innovate or improvise. Just as they are critical of others' unusual behaviors, consoles may also be unwilling to step out of their own comfort zones, usually for fear of being or just appearing different. Do you think that's how I am?
I don't know. I don't think so. It doesn't, like, instantly be like, yeah, that's you, like, off the top.
Okay. Vulnerable to criticism. We already talked about this. Often too needy. Consoles need to hear and see a great deal of appreciation. I think that's one of my love languages.
Yeah, that's true.
Words of affirmation.
Yeah, it's very true.
And too selfless. The other side of this is that consoles sometimes try to establish their value with doting attention, something that can quickly overwhelm those who don't need it. Furthermore, consoles often neglect their own needs in the process. I feel like that's something I do.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, my strengths. Tolerant.
Not one of mine. Heard.
Reliable.
Yeah.
Charismatic.
Mm-hmm.
Altruistic. Okay, so I'll read this one for people that don't know what altruistic means. Uniting these qualities is protagonists' unyielding desire to do good in and for their communities, be it in their own home or the global stage. Warm and selfless protagonists genuinely believe that if they can just bring people together, they can do a world of good. That's 100% true. And natural leaders. Don't really need to explain that because that makes sense.
Pretty easy.
Okay, so the weaknesses are overly idealistic. All these sound the same. Overly idealistic, too selfless, too sensitive, fluctuating self-esteem, and struggle to make tough decisions. I don't really have a hard time. Do I have a hard time making tough decisions?
Do you have a hard time making tough decisions?
It says, if caught between a rock and a hard place, protagonists can be stricken with paralysis, imagining all the consequences of their actions, especially if their consequences are humanitarian. So where I have an issue is if I have to make a huge decision and it negatively affects somebody, often I won't do it, even if it negatively affects me. Like, I would rather make a decision that is better for Landon, for example. I was obviously his mom. But just, like, in general. Like, I've had that issue in my relationships where I'm like, that's like I will do that because it's, and I've learned to adjust this because it's like my natural tendency to be like, that's fine.
No. I am not that way.
And really it's not fine. So like, I mean, okay, that's all right. That's
I'm
fine.
a caring, it says even here, like, and this is true of me, I'm a caring person, but I'm not like a martyr personality. Like, I'm not going to be like, okay, that's fine. No. We're going to come to a conclusion. And usually, like, I would like it to be my conclusion, but we can come somewhere in the middle.
Because,
okay, let me say this really quick. The reason that I feel like we should, like, my conclusion is the, quote, best decision is because I am very logical. I have thought it out. And unless you can if you come to me with something I haven't thought of, then I will be like, okay. And this is a lot of times where Derek and I have disagreements. I'm like, this is what it is. I don't understand why blah, 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 blah. Or you're saying this, but your actions show this. But, like, explain to me how it's not this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, if he does say, well, it's because of this, or don't, whatever, then I'll be like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know? But, like, until then, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, it's more like, Blake and I disagree on something, or we're, like, trying to make a huge decision, okay? So the issue that Blake and I have had, like, and we're honestly, like, developing these and learning these things about each other. One of the main reasons why we have a lot of the issues we have right now is because 5 years ago when we met, I was very much like, sure, whatever you want to do. 25-year-old me, just turned 25-year-old me, was just like, sure.
Yeah.
To whatever you want to do, that's fine, that's fine. Now, 30-year-old me is like, no.
Yeah, no, it's not going to just be whatever you want.
It's not going to be just whatever you want to do. We're going to have to discuss
what it's going to be.
What's going to be. And these are the things that I like, and these are things that I really don't like, you know? So, but that was like,
and that's good though.
But it's good because I feel like yesterday Blake literally, like, said that he's like, like, we were reading this, he's like, I appreciate that you do not do that. He's like, please tell me, if you do not like something. It's like, because we've had to, like, rehab conversations and, like, discuss because I'm like, you said this. He's like, but I don't think that anymore. Or, like, that's not what I meant then. It's not what I mean now. Like, let's have the conversation again. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we've been working on is, we can't continue to think about each other the way we were when we met 5 years ago, because we met in a super transitional point in our life. Like, mm-hmm. I met Blake in the middle of his 30s. He met me in the middle of my 20s. Totally different time periods in your life.
Yeah.
But we have united on our time period with Landon. And so our life going forward has to be defined in the time stamp of Landon's life.
Yeah.
So Landon is 2, which means everything going from 2 to on is based around how can Landon have the best 100 years on this earth. How can we set him up to have that best amount of time? And we have 20 years to do it, to define him and to, like, grow him.
Yeah,
and
but
shape him into a human being.
If you guys put too much focus on what Landon's going to be in the next 20 years, where are y'all going to be in the next 20 years?
I realize that. I'm not saying that needs to be 100% the focus. I'm saying that
but
our
that's
actions,
like your guiding front.
It's our guiding. Yeah. It's our guiding light, because it's like, okay, so do we really need to be having this huge argument about this? No, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter because it's
that's
irrelevant.
Good.
Our goal is to be together, to be
mm-hmm.
happy, to have a positive, happy home, to set Landon up in the best way we possibly can in life, in school, in education, in personality, so that he can be a good contributor to society and life. That's it.
Yeah.
So anything else we do that counteracts that is wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Woo!
We went through all the things.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we didn't have I was like, maybe we don't need him this week because we're going to talk about, like, a lot of stuff. And it did. It did exactly what I wanted. So I'm glad.
So this is a really long podcast. But we are so happy that you guys joined us. This was a really interesting personality quiz, and I think that basically we figured out that, like, I feel like the differences that we already knew we had, this just kind of, like, solidified the differences.
But it was nice to hear some of the things that we had in common, though. That was like, oh, I guess we do that.
We're both extremely emotional.
Yes.
That was one.
Very, very passionate.
76% or something emotion, and you're like 10% more higher on emotion. Yeah. So, woo! God bless Derek and Blake. But I'm interested to see. So maybe I'll try to convince Derek.
We're gonna get Blake and
we'll
Derek.
Kind of, like, go over quickly the results
next week.
Or that could just be like our episode next week.
Yeah, so we did this week. So what we'll do is next week we'll give you guys like what the guys' results were. And we'll compare them to ours and like each other's and see like where they cross and whatever. Yeah. And then you guys can kind of see, you know, how we relate in our relationships and the things that we communicate and things that we struggle with, things that we work on and all that. But please remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the bell, subscribe so you know that every Wednesday we're coming out with a brand new podcast.
Yep.
Throughout all of these, there's lots of cool and amazing and exciting changes going on in Ash and I's life, so we'll be sure to share those with you guys as they progress. And yeah, I think that's it. Is that it?
Yeah.
Any other closing thoughts?
Nope. Just stay safe.
Please share. Share our page.
We've had a few people that have shared the podcast last week.
Jaleese,
our friend
thank
Jaleese.
you.
Hey girl. Our cousin, one of our cousin Mickey, she shared. Thank you so much. And
Blake and Derek always share.
They always share. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for sharing and telling a friend, and hopefully that fostered more listeners. And